This next story is a true story of an American that was scammed for a green card by his Filipina wife. This story is as predictable as it gets. This story should be used as an example of what not to do when dating, visiting, or traveling in Southeast Asia. Here it goes.
Love,
Yes.
when are you going to send money to my family?
Oh, tomorrow. Western Union. First thing.
How much?
How much do they need?
$25,000.
Dollars or pesos? Okay, we'll send them 25,000.
Yay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
That's why I love you so much, because you give me a lot of money.
My name's Richard. I'm 70 years young, and I thought I would have everything figured out by now. After all, I spent what seems to be my entire life as a playboy, a bachelor, chasing after the next thrill, the next beautiful woman. I never wanted to settle down. That was for other people, right? But there comes a time when you start to feel that familiar emptiness creeping in, even when you've had a lifetime of fun. This realization hits you usually by the age of 50, but I guess you can say I was late to the party. I frequented Asia since my 20s. I had tried it all and seen it all. I had some long-term girlfriends here and there, but no one seemed to stick around for whatever reason. I always put the dollar first before anything else, and now that my family and friends were mostly gone, I had no one to turn to. Sure, I was wealthy, but what's money if you can't share it with anyone, or do anything truly meaningful with it? It all changed when I took a trip to the Philippines. I thought it would be a casual getaway, maybe a last hurrah before I really faced the reality of growing old. But life has a way of surprising you, and I didn't expect to meet Joyce. She was 25, full of life, and the first time I laid eyes on her, I was walking in a local market. It was like someone flipped a switch inside of me. She had this magnetic energy, and as I was ordering a fruit smoothie, I was drawn to her. We struck up a conversation, and I felt a connection that I hadn't experienced in years. I kept returning to the same stall to get a smoothie just so we can talk, and I got the courage one day to ask her out. She hesitated a bit, but she agreed to it. Don't get me wrong, for all the young guys out there, old age comes to all of us. Although I look like an old creep out of my league, mentally, in some ways, I was still that fit guy in his 30s, thinking that life would always be that way. Well, no, the F it isn't. Things started sagging where they shouldn't. I felt more tired than I used to, but I wouldn't let that stop me from pursuing what I wanted. I remember back when I was in my 30s, and I had a friend named Mark. He was as short as they come, but he never let that stop him from approaching the women he wanted. I once asked him where he got all that courage and fearlessness from, and he replied, "Rich, I don't care about what people think about me, or what her response will be. All I care about is being able to look at myself in the mirror, knowing that I went for what I wanted, and I would never live with regrets." That shit stuck to me for the rest of my life. Joyce was studying at university and working to support herself. She had dreams, ambitions, everything I admired. She was a real hustler in more ways than one. It was refreshing to meet someone so vibrant, especially after years of fleeting relationships that never seemed to last. Before I knew it, I was in deep. We started dating and I found myself wanting to be a better man for her. Retire my jersey in the rafters where it needed to be a long time ago. It felt different this time, like I was finally ready to settle down. They always say to never bring them back, but stupid me, I did. I brought her back to the United States, and the day she received her green card felt monumental. I thought, this is it. This is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. But as time passed, I noticed something changed. Once she settled in, Joyce began going out more often. She made friends at university and work, and while I was happy for her, something didn't sit right with me. I couldn't help but think, was she spending more time away from me because she was enjoying her newfound freedom, or was there something else going on? The nagging doubt started to grow, and I didn't want to be that guy, the jealous partner constantly worrying about infidelity. That was never me, but I couldn't shake the feeling. There were late nights, vague responses about where she'd been, and little slips in her stories. I tried to convince myself I was just being paranoid. After all, I had lived a carefree life and was often on the other side of that suspicion and paranoia. But then the idea of a loyalty test crossed my mind. I know it sounds dramatic, right? But I wanted to put my fears to rest. So I hired a handsome guy in his 40s, a guy who could easily charm anyone. I set up a situation for him to flirt with Joyce at a local cafe. To my surprise, Joyce didn't bite. The guy I hired, though, told me she seemed to have sensed something was off and she quickly cut the interaction short. He felt like she was still hiding something. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. Maybe my worries were unfounded after all, but that feeling didn't last long. I needed to be sure.
Hi! Are married for 5.5 years, 70 years old. So I met him when I was 21 years old. And I will show you some photos of us together before we get married. During our dating days. Okay.
I decided to go a step further and hire a private investigator. It felt extreme, but I needed clarity. The investigator dug deep and after a few weeks called me with the news. My heart was racing as I listened. He had evidence, pictures and videos of Joyce with one of her male classmates from university.
Hey everybody. I don't care what you say as long as I'm pretty. Love, am I pretty, love? Hey love.
Yes,
Am I pretty?
very pretty. Extremely pretty.
Tell them.
Extraordinarily pretty. Wonderfully pretty. Superbly pretty. Very, very pretty.
Yeah. He loves me because I'm pretty.
That's just one of many reasons.
So yeah. I love you.
Love of us.
I'm pretty. So whatever you want to say, a gold digger, whatever it is, but as long as I'm pretty. I am pretty.
The younger me would have said, "You're dumb to have thought otherwise." I had trusted her completely and now, here I was faced with undeniable proof of her cheating. I know, I'm an old man, but it still stung like a mother effort. I couldn't believe the woman I thought I loved was capable of such deceit. She looked so innocent. Trust me, I heard it all before. The chances and survival of marriages being 50-50, but you never think it would be you in that predicament. I had two options. I could look the other way and keep the charade going or shove my evidence down her throat, and I chose the latter. Confronting Joyce was one of the hardest moments of my life. When she walked in that evening, I was torn between anger and heartbreak. I laid out the evidence in front of her. Every picture, every video. I watched her face change as the reality of her actions hit her. She didn't deny it. "Richard, I didn't expect for it to happen," with her crocodile tears. "It hurts since I knew she was lying." "How can you do this to me?" I told her. "I gave you everything, Joyce. I thought we had something real." She said she was sorry and pleaded to not end the marriage. But by the way, Joyce had brought up to me months before of her planning on bringing her parents and siblings here to the States. And guess who would finance us all? Me. So her pleading for the marriage not to end was probably to milk me until her family got here. And she dropped my ass as soon as she finished university and she was fully settled.
Give me one kiss because you're so mean. You're so mean to me. And to your body.
I should be mean more often.
No.
But I was beyond sympathy. "You've been cheating on me. You've taken my trust and broken it, Joyce." She then ran outside the door crying, as if she was the one cheated on. After she left, the silence in the house was deafening. I wandered through the empty rooms, each corner a reminder of our time together. The laughter that once filled the air was replaced with an aching void. I missed her presence, the joy she brought into my life, even if it had been built on lies. As the days turned into weeks, I tried to get back to normalcy. I cut off all contact with Joyce and decided to leave my place and go abroad for a bit. I started reconnecting with old friends, finding solace in their company. It was a slow process, but gradually I began to rediscover parts of myself that had been overshadowed by heartbreak. I found out I still had friends out there that wanted to spend time with me, but being that I was a selfish asshole my entire life, I didn't think they cared anymore. But trust me, never believe that story in your head. Looking back, I realized that my life as a playboy had shielded me from the vulnerabilities of real love. I thought I was ready for commitment, but the truth is, I had let my guard down in a big way. Trust is fragile, and once it's broken, it takes a long time to heal. Richard is one wise dude. He understood where he was in life and what life entailed being at that stage in his life. He got together with Joyce out of the fear of being alone, which was not the right move in my opinion. More than likely, an age gap that wide comes with foreseeable consequences. Consequences that our boy Richard was well aware of. He'd been around the block a few times and understood female nature and the nature of people in general. But a cute smile and a slim waist can make even the most experienced of us make stupid mistakes. Richard's story is a cautionary tale for anyone thinking about jumping into a relationship without fully understanding the consequences and being able to live with the realities of such a difference in age, culture, and mentality. Make sure to check out my previous video right over here of Min, an American whose girlfriend did the unthinkable. Subscribe, share, comment, and like, and share a story of your own that I can make into the next video. My name is Roberto, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.